I think the worst example that I personally experienced was in the Holy Land case. And, you know, Noor's moving words, I can't wait for this book to hit the stands, because I'm going to be selling it at every speech I give. You know, this notion of criminalizing charitable giving is so dangerous. And part of the job for defense lawyers who do these cases is we have to figure out the ways to talk to American juries, mostly Christian, mostly Republican, mostly white, often not terribly educated. How do we talk to them about these issues? And what I learned and what we hit upon, which was a winning strategy with Dr. Al-Arian, it certainly was a winning strategy, I believe, in the first Holy Land case. It was a winning strategy on a case that I consulted with on Chicago, the Mohammed Salah and Dr. Ashkar's case, where the terrorism charges were beat. It was a winning strategy in the Al-Hussein case out of Boise, Idaho. And what that is what it's about is it's not about having the jurors understand Islam or understand your client. It's about the jurors understanding that what you're talking about is really about them. So when I looked at this board and I looked at these names, I thought to myself, right here, you know, that Pastor Nemo quote about "then they come for you," that's where that goes. That's you. George Bush, you know, people with names like George Bush, John Smith, you know, Sarah Palin. I mean, people like that. That's where that belongs. What the government did in the Holy Land case is they said the following, and follow me because this is going to blow your mind. They said that, you know, Ms. Moreno, we agree that your client raised money for the needy, and we agree that every penny went to the needy. Not a single nickel, not a single penny went to buy a weapon or a bullet. We agree. We just don't like the way it was done. Now, you're talking about experienced attorneys in the Holy Land case. We probably had, you know, over 150 years of experience among the 6 or 7 lawyers that were there in both trials. And we all looked at each other. We couldn't believe it. And they were serious. And what they said was that the money that went to the needy went through zakat committees in Palestine that were associated with Hamas. That's what they said. Okay. We're not sure what that means. So, and they said that we have an expert. We have an expert who's going to tell the jury how these zakat committees are associated with Hamas and thus materially support Hamas. And they put on the stand, unprecedented in criminal trials, the first anonymous expert witness. Now, and his name was Avi, A-V-I. That's all we knew. Even the judge did not know his last name. And I said to the press in Dallas, you know, if George Bush walked in here and tried to testify anonymously, he couldn't do that. But a Shin Bet agent could walk into an American courtroom anonymously and offer expert testimony against men whose only crime was to feed Palestinian women and children. The problem was that, you know, they fed the wrong type of children. Okay? So here's Avi, and he's their expert, and he's testifying. And at one point, in cross-examination, I got him to admit that he had never read a book on zakat committees, had never visited zakat committees, had never polled told or talked to Palestinians who received aid from Zakat committees, but he could smell Hamas. And, you know, I mean, my question was, are we talking about a canine with extraordinary sensory abilities, or are we talking about a human being who's supposed to be an expert in this regard? You know, we were lucky in terms of we got a reasonable jury the first time around, and we did not the second time around. It is probably, all the lawyers in the Holy Land case agree, it is the hole in our heart. We are committed to this appeal. We believe we'll win this appeal. We have to win this appeal because there's too much at stake here. So let's talk about some other kinds of evidence, and I point to my very first case in this, you know, that really began this whole career path for me, which was Dr. Al-Arian's case. Now, yeah.